Welcome back to the party package. My name is Owen, and let me introduce myself. I am the savior of entertainment and the analysis king of professional wrestling. Yes, today we are once again talking about pro wrestling and specifically AEW Dynamite. Last Wednesday happened last night. Doing it now. Went to review it yesterday, but didn't. Apologize for that. But here I am now, doing it now. I'm going to upload it right after this. Welcome back to the show. Now, this is the first time we're reviewing this. Just going to break down each thing, tell my opinion about how I feel about each show, each segment, and that's about it. So, let's just jump into it. So, first up, we had Samoa Joe versus the Joker. Yes, that was the first match. Samoa Joe comes out. First off, I gotta say, Samoa Joe. Also, by the way, I got a haircut. It looks really cool now. Anyways, Samoa Joe is so cool. His music now reminds me of Bowser, and that is how exactly they should book Samoa Joe, is to be Bowser. You know, like he looks like Bowser. He should be Bowser. I guess Kenny Omega, could be like the face, and like me, he's like Mario. I don't know. But him being like Bowser, his music, dun 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 dun, like it sounds like Bowser's coming out. So he comes out looking all great. And here comes the Joker. The Joker, of course, is like, who's it gonna be? And I was hoping that it would be Kenny Omega because I'm going to Doubleor Nothing, which I think he'll show up there. But I was hoping that maybe it was Kenny, so then Kenny would win. I'll tell you that in a second. But the Joker comes out and it's got some weird, funky music. And on the Titantron, it's like showing some weird, like not bubbly, but like things. And then it says Johnny Elite. And everyone's like, oh! And then he comes out, and he looks the coolest he's ever looked. John Morrison looked amazing. This is the coolest version of John Morrison that I've seen. The last time I saw him, I saw him like in the very beginning before he even did the drip stuff. He was Johnny. It was Ms. Morrison. Hey, hey. Ho ho. They started that when I went to the show. That when I went, they started that chant. So that was kind of a cool thing. But yeah, so he comes out, he looks super cool, and the coolest version I've seen of him. So they get in the ring, they start, and of course, immediately they're well, not immediately. They start the match, and you can already tell that he's going to start doing his Johnny Morrison things and actually be able to show. See, I'm against a lot of the stupid people they have in our company here. That one, you can't see it. Oh, well. Well, this one. Christian, one of those guys that are like, oh, he should have been given a chance. He just wasn't given one. He's good. No. Christian's not one of those guys. Christian's not one of those guys that should have just been given a chance. He is not good. Christian sucks. He's boring. He's a bad wrestler. He doesn't know how to talk, and he tries to dress like he's in like a boy band, and he's like 50. So stop using him. So, Morrison, though, he is one of those guys that has all of the skill in the world. His problem, though, is he has no character, no charisma, and absolutely no character. Did I say character already? It doesn't matter, whatever. Johnny Mundo Morrison, Johnny Impact, Johnny whatever the hell. Now Johnny Elite, we'll call him that. Johnny, let's just call him Johnny. Hi Johnny, my cousin. Sorry. So he comes out and he immediately they start doing he does a cartwheel, and he does a thing. The coolest thing he did this match was like the cart. It wasn't really a cartwheel in the air, but it was kind of like that. It was like a sideways backflip. Like he went like this instead of like this or like this. He went like this, like this. Anyways, and that was the difference between that was the cool move that he thought he did. However, he did like miss all of Samoa Joe. So there's that. And then I was cooking dinner, so I I missed the ending of the match, so I was watching the whole thing until I had. Oh, no, whatever. I missed the ending of the match, but I know Samoa Joe won, which isn't surprising, but Samoa Joe moves on. Cool match. I would have liked it to have been Kenny Omega for obvious reasons. I love the Elite of all the Elite people. You'll find out who I don't like very soon and why. But I was hoping it'd be Kenny because Kenny, I think it would have been a lot cooler for the story because obviously they're going to go towards the Elite versus the Undisputed Era. That's just what they're going to do. That's the coolest storyline they can do. And that's what I think they should get to. And Kenny versus. So Kenny coming out, and then he beats him. And then that would have set up Kenny versus Kyle O'Reilly, who would win later in the night. And that would be so cool. Because then you'd get Kenny versus Kyle. And then you get that, like, tension there. And it's like, oh, you're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And then you lose to him. And then it's kind of, and then, especially when Adam is going to be in the finals. So then you get that. You get the natural feud between Kenny and Kyle, Adam, which is already there because they both want to be in charge of things and of their past or whatever. But then you get that natural, like, it wasn't set up to be that. You get that natural attack you get that natural feud to go into it. And I think that would have been a lot more interesting than what they actually ended up doing. And then what they're going to actually do, probably. So, just like, it would have made more sense and it would have been more natural or whatnot to do it that way, but they don't, so whatever. So, that match was, cool match. Nothing special. Next up was Hangman versus, let me get his name right. Konosuke Takeshita. Let's just call him KT. So, Katie. What's his name? CM Punk comes out, and he's just gonna go into commentary. Hangman comes out, and then, doesn't matter. They come out, whatever. This kid, whoever this guy is it crazy? He has one random match, which he's no way gonna win. I thought that if this match wasn't happening 2 weeks before Double or Nothing, this could have been his win. If this match wasn't happening in 2 weeks from a week and a half from yesterday or whatever, then then that's probably a win. Okay, probably not. But I was like, what? This kid, this is insane. He's gonna beat him. This is insane. He was beating each other up. They were beating each other up. It was a phenomenal match. It was back and forth craziness. I thought both of them were going to get hurt or injured. And, it was hard to watch. One of those really looked like Hangman got dropped on his head. But, by the way, this cool Hangman shirt. It was crazy that they booked him well. A lot of times I'm like, why does this guy have to be when you're going to push as a star? But this guy is one of those guys to push as a star. He is going to be big. He's going to be the future. Some of these guys are going to be big, and he's one of them. So, good match. It was very stiff. The word that could be definitely used for it was stiff. Because those two guys were just beating the crap out of each other, and that's it. Next up is Keith Lee and Swerve versus the Workhorsemen. That's right, that is a match that happened. They come out, this one, nothing really happened. They come out, they looked really cool together, they worked really well. One time, Swerve, rolled over and ran into Keith or whatever, something happened that was funny. Keith laughed at it. This was just a fun match. And, just a little fun thing to just do out there for the fans. And then comes out are the Ricky and Hobbs come out, which their music is awesome. Those two guys are the guys they should be pushing to the moon. And Ricky comes out, and they start talking. He's looking, I was immediately well, he's dressed like a golfer and looks like a star. How do you not book this guy? And he even used Jabroni, obviously pushing out the fact that he is their Rock, or should be. And then Jurassic Express comes out, and then boring old Christian, who's dressed up like he's some cool guy. He's got his tight shirt on. He's dressed like this, like he's in a boy band, like he's about to sing in Backstreet Boys. He comes out and he's like, well, let's do this. And I got so excited because they're going to do a triple threat tag team match between these three teams together for the tag titles at Doubleor Nothing. I'm going, and I'm going to get to see that. That's awesome. I love that. So that's huge. But, I mean, nothing really special. But next week they're going to get, it's going to be Swerve, Ricky, and Jungle Boy. So that'll be kind of fun. Next, the Wardlow takes 10 laps. This was a really cool segment. I thought they did this really well. I love that MJF came out and he was like, I'm not in Long Island anymore, and they all start booing. Some of the signs in the background were funny today. And then, so they say that, and Wardlow, they do a cool entrance where they raise up like a garage, and Wardlow you start seeing his legs a little, his waist, and he's just this jacked body, whatever. Anyways, and it was just like a funny sight to see. They start marching to the ring with all the security guards that wouldn't stop anybody until they finally get to the stage where they run into the two guys that are there at every show. And they go to the ring, and this was a really cool segment. I thought this was going to be kind of lame, but because I was like, well, what are they going to do differently than the last time? I was like, well, he's going to beat him up. Then I forgot that there's a stipulation that he can't. So I thought he was just going to beat him up. Couldn't, though. So I was like, well, how is this going to be any different than Cody's? And immediately when he whipped him, he doesn't react, which must have been really hard, because he was whipping him. The first one, I was like, oh. And then he kept going, and that's when the first time where he hit him 4 times, and Sean stopped him, I was like, oh man, you can kind of tell in Wardlow's eyes, he's like, keep a straight face, but this doesn't hurt. And he pulled it off really well. And then finally MJF cheats. I mean, Sean Spears hits him with it a couple times, but and we're back. Okay, so Wardlow, the 10 lashes, so Sean Spears then does them. He does a couple, and they're not even harder, I feel like. But then MJF, he goes up, gonna do the last 2 or whatever, and then he low blows him. Sean Spears scares away the referee, and then he starts whipping him all he wants, right? And Wardlow's just dead on the ground. Sean Spears gets him up, and then this part was kind of weird. Wasn't a fan of this part where Sean picks him up and then does his finisher, I guess, and then MJF counts 1, 2, 3. So that part, the ending of it was weird, but the whole thing, the segment was cool. It was cool the way they did it. I don't know why I didn't see it coming the way it did, but it was cool. It was interesting. It was a fun segment. Okay, so then this is my match of the night. So Ray Phoenix versus Kyle O'Reilly. This was a cool match. So Kyle comes out, they got their stupid weird this weird song. Doesn't it sound weird, muffled? I don't know. So they come out and Kyle goes to the ring, and then some weird music starts playing, and I'm like, what? Who's this? And the weird Titantrons, clouds and stuff, and I'm like, who's this? And then comes out Ray Phoenix, and I was like, oh, so this must just be his own music, I guess. I don't know, but it was cool. So Ray comes out, he looks all cool and all, and then they go to the ring, and this match was the best one of the night. So both of them are strikers, but they're also, Ray Phoenix obviously known for doing whatever he can fly. So they're going all around. So Kyle starts on the ground, cause how he wants him to go after him, and he bails out or whatever. So this match was just so cool. They just back and forth, just punching it. Kyle's neck was so red. I mean, I know a lot of times Daniel Bryan and stuff, when they get chopped a lot, they look bad. But Kyle O'Reilly today was red. He is gonna look weird tomorrow. And so yeah, they're going back and forth. Those kicks. I mean, the part that stole it for me. That was the whole ending part where Ray like gets knocked down. He kips back up and then kicks Kyle in the face, right? And then he goes off the ropes, gonna do his finisher or whatever it is. And then Kyle catches him into the double arm and leg bar. It's like an arm bar and a leg bar, I guess. I don't know. And that taps him out. And I was kind of surprised, that Ray would lose to Kyle O'Reilly. But I've always thought I always really liked Kyle O'Reilly, so I would have booked him like that. Probably make him stronger, like in other matches too, just so then it would have been a little bit more normal. Like it was kind of shocking. Like, oh. But that's only because they book him a certain way. They should book him stronger than what they do. But that was a great match. The great match of the night. Next up was Jericho and Regal face down. So the cool guys come out for. I guess that they didn't actually. Daniel Bryan and Regal come out, or whatever his name is, and they come down to the ring, and then we hear Jon Moxley's music play, and they go backstage, and Jon walks around the corner, or he's like slumped over like this, and behind him is the oaf, the bum, Eddie Kingston standing behind him, along with stupid-looking Santana, and the only one that I like, Ortiz, standing there, sitting back behind him, looking all cool or whatnot. And then they go walk out to the ring together. They go through the crowd. And what was weird is a guy stands up to John as he's about to walk through the crowd. And he just stands there like, I'm your favorite. Huh, John? Huh, John? And John's just like standing there like trying not to look at him. He's like looking at the ring. And finally the guy moves out of the way. That was weird. That was weird. I don't know why security didn't move that guy. That was weird. So they walk down through the middle of them, and John, throws open the barricade. And what was funny is that Eddie is like, well, how am I supposed to get through? And he, like, tells the lady, like, you need to move. And they go through, right? So they go into the ring, and they're all cool, whatever. And then Jericho, the Appreciation Society, come out. And while his music's going on, Pyro, what is his name? Magic Money, something. Magic Matt, I don't know. He comes out, he's like, no music! Not a taste of the music, or whatever he says. And he stops the music and the pyro, because we don't deserve it. And they start talking, and Jericho and Regal are the ones doing the most of the talking there. And then he references how he peed in his teacup, which is kind of funny. Just Jericho running down all of those guys, which was hilarious. I don't know why I don't remember what he specifically said about some of the people. But, he said to Eddie, the best line of the night was when Jericho said to Eddie, he said that he would make, he said something along the lines of he would make him turn, no! This is it. He said that William is gonna make them all like. No, he said to Daniel. He was talking to Daniel. He said that your protege or whatever, your mentor. I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten you so jacked up on alcohol or whatever he said that you'd have to check into a thing like Moxley. And I know I'm butchering what he said, but that was like, that was a good line. And so they start running them down, and then Magic Matt, or whatever his name is, starts like saying the things that got him mad at each other before. And because like Daniel and Brian, and my God, Daniel and Eddie went at it before. So they start saying like the things that they used to say, and one of the funniest things was when he said that he called him a over judgmental prick or something like that, and then Eddie goes, "What? You are?" That was funny. I like that. And then finally, I don't remember what happened, how it got to this, but then John finally starts to talk, and then Eddie tells them like, "Okay, you know what? We're done fighting. We're done talking. Let's just fight." Because that's what the face always has to say. Well, I don't want to talk. Let's just fight now. Because of course they can't just talk about things. They have to just like, let's just beat each other up now and get done with. Like that's kind of boring. But that's what you get when you get Eddie Kingston talking on the mic. And then they start like thinking like, okay, let's do this, and then they don't, of course, and they walk away. So kind of a fun segment, kind of not. It was just whatever. Next up we had so Britt versus the Joker. So Britt comes out and does her thing, whatnot, and then Jamie. Oh, at some point, right after that happened. Sorry, is when they start. They're about to fight or something, and then Eddie and Daniel start pushing and shoving each other, yelling at each other, and they're like being held back by each other. So there's tension in the team, which I think actually might play a role in what's going to happen here, because I bet what's going to happen is that it's going to be kind of like a movie thing, like in Batman or something, where they're like, well, you have to choose, or like more like Star Wars, I guess, where it's like you have to choose a side. You have to are you going to join the British Combat Club or Blackpool Combat Club, or are you going to hang out with your idiot friends over there? And John's going to like turn on Eddie, and then we're finally going to get Eddie versus John again, which will be cool, but we get that'll be a cool match. Because then John will probably be heel. So we'll get Yuta. Oh, I just thought about it, because Yuta's there. Why wasn't Yuta there? I don't know. So you'll get John, Yuta, and Daniel versus Eddie, Santana, Ortiz. That'll be fun. That'll be cool. But then after they start feuding with each other on the backstage area, you got the most overrated and idiot person in the world. You've got Dante Martin, and then a cool guy who's not really interesting, but oh boy, what's his stupid name? His name is what is his stupid name? Whatever his name is, I'll figure it out as I'm talking. But whatever. So they're like, they can't get together. We're gonna handle it for them or whatever. It's so dumb. So anyway, they go back. Okay, so then Britt comes out, and Rebel and Jamie are there. They don't go with her. And Jamie, by the way. Anyways, so Britt goes to the ring, and it's like, I don't know who's gonna be her secret person. And then finally, I was like, who's it gonna be? I have no idea. I was like, who? It could be Tessa Blanchard, I guess, maybe, which probably not, but who knows? And finally, the music hits, and I'm like, oh my god. And then the girl comes out, and she starts singing her song. I don't know what the hell the words are. She's like, she's funny. There's a lot of them that they bring in, of a lot of the girls. I'm like, well, I don't know why they have this person around, but they need to keep her on TV more. She's hilarious. Her whole like match was hilarious, and her entrance is hilarious. It's funny. So she goes out there, she sings her stupid song, and immediately they get in the ring, the match starts, and they like hug because they used to be friends or whatever. And apparently, behind the scenes, they were like, we talked, and what is her stupid name? Her name is, it starts with a K. Maki Ito, whatever. So Maki Ito is like, yeah, she lays down because she's just going to take the pin, and then she rolls Britt over and gets a 2, but nothing. And then they go back and they start punching each other. No, not they're like shoving each other around or whatnot. And then she's going to do her like headbutt thing, but then Britt rolls out of the way. This was fun. This was really fun. But then she finally hits her. She does this, falls down, hits her with the head, and then Britt gets up and finally has enough of it, and she like just like kills her in the face, and then finally locks in the the lockjaw and wins. That was fun. Nothing special, but it was fun. That's what I want. That's what we want on TV, is just fun. It was fun. So then we get, so then Serena Deeb comes out to talk to Tony, and Tony's talking, he's like, 3-year anniversary or whatever, right? So Tony comes out and he's talking about that, and then Serena Deeb is like, the worst. So she comes out and she's like, I've done so much for this company and for ladies wrestling. And it's like, no, you haven't. You have done nothing. You are a nobody, Serena Deeb. The only good point she had is that she was like, I shaved my head and got no recognition. And it's like, that is true. That is cruel that they did have her shave her head, and that was it. She shaved her head for nothing. So that is kind of weird. But that was her only good point, because she's talking to Dustin for some reason. None of this made sense to me. And she's like, why did you not choose me to beat Thunder Rosa? And he was like, well, I didn't say you can't win. I said I just picked her to win. She was, but it's like, it was dumb. It was dumb. So anyways, moving on from that to the main event, we got Adam Cole we have Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole, baby. And then, so they go to the mat. So my call before this match happened was that the Young Bucks were going to come out at some point, beat up Jeff and Matt, and then at the end, so Adam would win, and then at the end, the Young Bucks versus Hardys is basically set up. But it kind of happened, but not quite the same way. So the Jeff Hardy goes out there, does his thing, he's just doing whatever. And because he's a super cool guy, who doesn't want to do this? Anyways, so they go out there, and then Adam runs over Jeff, which is weird because Matt doesn't do anything about it. And so he throws him to the ring, and the match starts, and it's just so weird that Matt just watched this happen. And Adam's beating him up, and Jeff finally gets like the upper hand. The cool part of this match, of course, is when he was going up for the Whisper in the Winds. And then Adam catches him with the super kick on the way down. And that wasn't the end of the match, though. The end of the match was Jeff going up for a Swanton bomb and missing. Adam rolls out of the way and goes into the corner, gets his knee pad down, and hits him with the boom. 1, 2, 3. It's done. And then I think Adam starts I don't remember. Did Adam start beating up Jeff, or Matt comes into the ring or something? And then the Young Bucks come out, and they're looking like they're gonna super kick Matt and Jeff. And then, they look like they're gonna super kick them, but then they turn around and they're like, hey, calm down. And then, of course, Adam comes up and hits them from behind. And then they start beating each other up. But then, out of nowhere, I wasn't expecting, but Darby just runs down to the ring and just starts causing chaos. And Sting's just lumbering out there, taking his time, because he doesn't need to go anywhere. He's going to kill everybody anyways. And he finally gets there after Darby starts getting beaten up, and he starts chopping people, with the karate chop. And then, finally, he's, hit from behind with a chair from Kyle. But he, no-sells it, turns around, grabs the chair, hits him back. He throws the chair in his face, which was hilarious. But finally, Adam, I think hits him from behind, or someone does. And they put the chair on his leg, and they're just beating everyone up. And the bad guys finally leave. And next week we're going to get probably the Young Bucks versus Hardy set up. I don't know what I guess maybe it might be, what it could come down to at Double or Nothing is that it could be the Hardys and I don't know, it could be the Hardys and the Young Bucks, or it could be because Adam's got to do something at Double or Nothing, so maybe Adam's fighting with them, so maybe it's Darby and the Hardys versus Adam and the Young Bucks. That could be a match, that'd be cool. But that would be cool because the Hardys aren't themselves like they used to be. So them two just against the Young Bucks might not be good enough. But if they have Darby in the mix, that could be a good match. That might be what they end up doing. But yeah, anyways, so solid show. I mean, it wasn't anything like spectacular, but there was good moments. I would say there was a couple dull moments, but nothing to be annoyed with. Not enough to be like, oh god, to point out. But other than, I mean, yeah, that's it. So I mean, I'd give it a good like what, I don't know, 7, good 7. Enjoy. It wasn't. It was just enjoyable, you know. It was enjoyable. Nothing crazy happened. It wasn't annoying. A good 7, good 6 to a 7, I'd say. Nothing special happened. Nothing big happened. Next week is the go home show until they go to Double or Nothing. So it'll be exciting to see what they do. They're gonna set up between. I mean, they got to set up a bunch of matches. There's a bunch of matches they haven't made yet, so they got to make those happen. So I don't know. They gotta next Tuesday, Wednesday. They're gotta do a lot of things because there's like what, only 2 matches set up, or there's one's on the buy-in. There's 3, but that one's on the buy-in, so that doesn't count. So there's a lot of match. Oh no, 3 match. Yeah, they've had 3 matches for the actual card, so they gotta make a lot more. There's gotta be a lot more. I don't know who's gonna fight Jade Cargill. Maybe no, because Chris Statlander's still in the thing. But Chris, I mean, if anyone could take it off of her, it could be Chris. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to next week. They're gonna have to do a bunch of things happen because they're just gonna. There's the last week and they have 3 matches. So I don't know. Anyway, well, I guess the last match they made one this tonight is going to be it was the whole point of the segment, was that it's going to be the Jericho Appreciation Society versus the British Combat Club plus the Hooligans. So we're going to get those two in not a Stadium Stampede match. It's going to be a Anarchy in the Arena match, which is going to be insane. I can't wait to see that. So that's going to happen. So that was the only other one. So tonight we got 2 matches. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that is the show. Solid show. Nothing special, nothing boring. So yeah, I don't know. That's it. So good show. So I hope you liked this show. I guess if you did, I guess you could hit the red subscribe button down below by picking up your free subscription. That is, if you click on it. And then hit the little tiny bell that'll pop up next to it. That'd be nice. And then leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you have any comments, suggestions, concerns, reviews, feedback, opinions, rants, tangents, anything you'd like to put down below in the comment section, feel free to do that. And thank you for watching. And until next time, I have been the party. And thank you. I'm sorry. Ta-ta for now.